Hi, I'm Vishal Karthik. I'm a senior GenAI developer, and I'll be talking about my latest project, an LLM agent that I built for an Upwork client of mine. It's a gift card agent of sorts. It basically adds on another agent I built, which was web based, but now this one is uh, email interface. So I'll talk about it more. So why the multi-channel, the email and the web UI interface matters. The initial model, the web UI, the problem was people had to actually visit the site to have the conversation. But people usually use their emails more. So what we did was we took the exact agent that was web based and put it in a mode where it was email friendly. So yeah, the problem with web UI, as I told you, was it worked great, but for site visitors only. People had to actually click on the link and redirect to a browser. I mean, if they were using the Gmail app, uh, or a new tab to access this chat interface. So, but since the links itself were received on the inbox of an email provider, uh, users prefer emailing better. And manual email counterpart for the email support, according to industry averages, was extremely slow, like around 12 to 24 hours. And so our goal was to provide fast, similar automated responses uh, as the web-based model, but across different channels, email in this case. So how the web UI agent works. It's a React frontend. It's hosted on AWS Elastic Bean. It runs 24/7. Uh, Basically, the Bedrock agent verifies the order ID. It generates a gift card code and it provides it to the user through the chat interface, also to their email. So there it is, email again. So yeah, the whole thing happens in one session. There's no continuity. Yeah, limitations, exactly that. There's no continuity. There's no thread involved. The session is tied to that browser tab, specific tab. If you close it, that's all. Any trace of that session existing dies. uh, to limit malicious users, we had to have a captcha setup, and that was a problem, mild one, but a problem nonetheless for uh, real customers. And customers are essentially email first users. Any customer that we've encountered probably uses their emails more often. Yeah, so the email agent here, it triggers from inbound emails. So until then, it stays asleep since it's a serverless model running on Lambda, and it uses the sender's address automatically since we get that from the email file. And the security is much more straightforward here. We just block the sender or the domain itself. So I mean, uh, instead of setting up a captcha. Yeah, the architecture, quick overview. This entire thing replaces the web UI interface. So essentially, the user sends an email, sends their message through an email to that address, the support address, and it's received through SES inbound, where we have rule sets set up. Because once you set up a domain identity, all of the emails to that domain is received by SES. So you'll have to set up rule sets to actually route specific emails to different areas. Yeah. So let me just pull up the rule set thing. Yeah. RIA rule set. So basically, it delivers the email to an S3 bucket first and invokes a Lambda function next. So the S3 bucket and the Lambda function are both specified in the rule set. If I go on to edit, you'll see that, but I'm not going to do that. So yep. As I told you, the S3 bucket, that's set up over here. So you receive email files like these. These are just mumbo jumbo, a lot of metadata wrapped around the message itself, which is unpacked by the parser. There's an email parser that's set up. It essentially acts as the backend. It unwraps the message. It takes out the email address of the user. With that email address, it creates a new session ID that's tied to the user. So how it does that is it hashes this email address. So since the address is tied to the user already, we just couldn't create a session ID with the email address itself. So we just hashed it. With this hashed session ID, we invoke a Bedrock instance, a new session. If there's a session already, using this session ID, we invoke the same session again. So context is, extended. We send the message from the user to the agent. It does its thing. It accesses the action group and the Lambda handler. This is an existing version. We just borrowed it from the web UI interface. Once it does its thing, it accesses DynamoDB to verify its order. It sends back a green signal or a red signal along with the gift card code. I mean, if it's green, the agent, what it does is it puts it in a neat little email type message and sends it back to the Lambda function, the parser. It then again does what the email provider does. It wraps it around metadata. It sends the message back as a reply to the original user's message. That's done by SES outbound. In between, you have this conversation summary and memory setup. So what happens here is the Bedrock agent's session only stays alive for 60 minutes. So within the span of 60 minutes, any number of times you message the agent with the same email address, you access the same session. But once it crosses the 60-minute limit, the session is closed. But when you have memory set up, what it does is before closing, it creates a summary of the entire conversation that happened in the span of an hour, and it saves it in a DynamoDB database. It does it all on its own. The summary is saved across the session ID. So since the session ID is tied to the user through the email address, we can just pull it up whenever the user sends a new email. And also, the parser stays alive only for a single exchange. So for a user's mess, it is awake. It's actually awoken by the email sent by the user. And after the Bedrock agent sends a reply and it parses and sends it back, the lifetime of the parser ends. But yeah, the session still says open for 60 minutes. So another message and the context is live still. Yeah, let me quickly show you the parser function. Yeah, so it basically locates the S3 object. It's the last one that fell into the bucket. And also, since it's woken by the rule set, we have information on which file it exactly is. So we just pull that up. We parse the message because there's a lot of riffraff around the message itself. So we unwrap it. Then there's the session creation that happens with the sender address. Then there's communicating with Bedrock. And once we have that answer, we wrap it up again and send it as a reply. And it goes out to SES. And that takes care of it. A quick look at the agent builder. You can see that we have memory setup. And when it's enabled, a summary is created, as I told you before, and this summary is kept alive for 7 days. A single summary is kept alive for 7 days, and after that it just vanishes. These values are arbitrary. You can change it to anything you want. Maximum number of recent sessions. So for 10 sessions, so across 10 sessions, the memory can be summarized. So every time a session ends, the memory will be overwritten with a new summary, and it can happen for up to 10 times, and you can set it up to whatever limit you desire. But yeah, it's just an arbitrary value, as I said. What happens next? Everything I've explained. Let me write a quick email testing gift card or valid order. You wait for it. Yeah, this shouldn't take a lot. Yeah, since it's just an introductory message. Yeah, it says hi. It basically tells me that it needs my specific order number, and I'll be sending it. Yeah, this is a dummy order number that I've put in the database. It's valid. So this should take a little more time because there's the action group that the agent has to deal with. It has to do a back and forth between the Lambda function and all. But yeah, it shouldn't take more than like 5 to 10 seconds, including the delay between the SES. Yeah, here's the response. There are two types of valid orders. Valid orders that have already claimed their gift cards. So if you've already done the whole process, then you're given the gift card code. But yeah, you're also been informed that this process has been done before, and there's a possibility that this gift card code might be already used. But yeah, that's up to the user to check. And there's also the new gift card code generation that happens when the order ID is being verified for the first time. Yeah, but we also save the the gift card code for, if the user loses it or something. So yeah, here's the response. There's a lot of different responses that you can, uh, do. Try out. But yeah, this is a success case. And yeah, let's finish up. Yeah, the Amazon Orders API is still being used on both web UI and the email interface. Uh, it's essentially how we fill up the DynamoDB database with the valid orders. And there's the incentives API that we use to generate gift card codes. And there's context retention. Uh, the the web interface retains context through a single session. Like in the first message, if you have said something, the order ID, for example, and if you ask for the order ID in the end, it remembers. But the context extends more for the email interface. I mean, it extends up to days, sessions, multiple sessions, tend to be exact in our model. And there's strict validation on both cases, since we do not want to hand out gift cards to anyone who's asking. Benefits is that it works with any inbox. I mean, people have different emails nonetheless, but emails. And sending an email to our support address will just start the process. And it's also efficient. There's no Elastic Beanstalk running 24/7 in the background. There's no need to keep it alive. There's no, servers involved, since it all runs through a Lambda function, a serverless Lambda to be exact. And Amazon takes care of the scaling problem. The security, yeah, as we discussed before, it's just a simple block list. It beats CAPTCHA. And the future. We plan to add more functionality, like where is my order, tokens, tickets, tracking, refunds, loyalty programs. We can basically emulate a human support department, and also a refund department, anything. There's also this multi-agent a feature that's out on Bedrock, so you can set up different agents to mimic a department. We also want to add more modes of communication. WhatsApp is widespread. We also want to include voice. 3.5 Sonnet supports voice, so we can do that pretty easily. Fraud checks, that's something we have to focus on. Figuring out anomalous behaviors, and basically filling up the block list we talked about. Analytics dashboards, it's something we already have, but we could improve on it. Basically gives us more data on the customers. Multilingual support is also something we can do instantly, because Sonnet already has capabilities to generate text in most of the EU languages. So yeah, if you have an AI feature that you want implemented, a cloud prototype, I'm the guy. Please connect through my LinkedIn or my Upwork. I'm also dropping my email address down below. It's vishal.karthik.m@gmail.com. Pretty simple. And thank you for your time. Have a good day.